G'day, fellas. G'day, everybody. Welcome to the Centre Bounce for another Thursday night drive home live stream where we actually are starting it pretty damn close to 5:30 for the first time in a while. The traffic wasn't too bad and we managed to get in. Not entirely sure what's happening with Big J and his audio. He seems to be on mute and his camera's not working. And I've tried speaking to him a few times and it hasn't worked.
Sorry, I'm here. I'm just driving home from work. Apologies. I got held back, and pretty much that's my excuse for today.
That's okay, not a problem. So are you trying to do everything in your power to avoid paying a $2 late fee? Is that what it is?
Oh, of course, mate. I'm not getting enough donations. My team reviews not getting many views this week, and got to try and save those $2. Because, once you downgrade Max Gawn and a bunch of these other players, you just don't have much cash left, Joe.
No, you don't have much cash, and that's what I did last week. But then again, you should be able to easily afford a $2 late fee if you're selling Max Gawn. So I don't see what your problem is.
We'll see. We'll see come the team sheets. We'll see what happens.
Fair enough. Hope you all have a wonderful week. Thursday night football on as usual. We love to see it. I'm just opening up some tabs here on the side. Got some big news. Obviously, Cozzy Pickett signed that monster deal. That's a pretty big news story there. Hustwaite apparently is going to be back this week. The Bombers have 2 more debutants this week, bringing us up to 10 debutants for the year. I wonder what the record is. What's the record for most debutants in a season? Oh, and Jersey's gone. I don't know what happened there. Jersey's disappeared. Might just be me for a little bit, but let's just get some comments going. Great Raven, how are you? Hope you're doing well.
Hey.
Trades for this week are going to be aggressive. Zorko, Merritt, and Lindsay to Nazaya, Butters, and Mckercher. I had enough of the fake primos and the shit scores.
I like it. And I think for myself currently, I might have 6 or 7 primos out for round 16. I think over the next 2 weeks, we'll see. I may try and cut that down to 4 if I'm very, very lucky. Because my backline at the moment is Zorko, Whitfield, Max Holmes in the backline at the moment. So players out and money's at a premium at the moment. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah. The expansion clubs, Gold Coast, and have a look. Oh, hello. What's this, Charles? I have a date tonight. Oh, Charles.
Boy.
Charles. Have fun, Charles. We won't hold you up.
Tell them you watch the Centre Bounce. You'll get all the love. Be like, I know those Joe and Big J. They're pretty cool. That's it.
Don't tell them about us. Whatever you do. Whatever you do, Charles, don't tell
them you know us.
Don't tell them.
Right.
Richmond holds the record for most debutants in a single season among most major clubs, with 12 debutants in the 2019 season. Well, we're up to 10 now.
Someone on Twitter said 11, Joe. You guys up to 11 now? Yeah, someone said on Twitter that you guys are actually up to 11. So maybe you want to check it and recheck it. I don't know.
Oh, I could have sworn we're on 10, but that's all right. Merritt has the Mullen tag this week, and Zorko the week after, in a couple of weeks, both will be in 400k and scoring like rookies. Yeah, but you got to think. We got to talk big picture. Greek Raven. We sort of want to
finish off your team.
I don't know how many trades you have left. I don't know what your current situation is in terms of how many trades you have left, how many players you have in that round 16 buy. Like, a positive of trading out Merritt and Zorko is that you are, of course, improving your round 16 buy. Zorko maybe is the one. I mean, Zorko has the worst run home for designated kickers, whereas with Merritt, he is not going to be playing the defensive role after the bye. Like, he's only playing in the back line out of
You,
pure
you
necessity.
hope so. You hope.
You know so. He's only playing
You
in the
hope.
back line. He's never played the back line before, but it's only out of pure necessity, the simple, pure necessities. Forget about every single defender because they're all injured at Essendon, but they will all come back after the bye. So you would imagine post-bye, Merritt goes back
Yeah.
into that midfield where he scores well again. What's the run home like for the Bombers? It's pretty neutral. After the bye, there are 2 green matchups, the Giants, Dogs. It's not the worst, not the best either. The question is, how many trades you got left and how many players you've got in round 16. Oh, Jonas,
I can really see, Joe, I don't know about you, but
Yeah, go.
I can really, really see a world where a lot of people are going to start saying, hey, I've got Zach Merritt, I've got a Zorko, 15K more on these players can get me a Zach Butters, who we know is probably going to be a keeper for the rest of the year. So can 100% see a world where like people are downgrading these players and getting the better ones in. Just depending on how many trades and how many spots, and maybe the cash gen or if you think Mills and Mckercher are keepers for the year, that may unlock a trade or two for your final teams, which is kind of cool.
Potentially, yes, indeed. Jonas, hey legends, in Super Primo Butters and Zach Johnson out. Roberts and Stone, 8 trades left with 2 upgrades and F all money. We're all in the same boat, Jonas, with the money, but very nice. You've traded out a mid-pricer and a rookie for an Uber premium and a good-looking rookie at that in Zach Johnson. Yes, he has a slightly bigger nose than your typical person, but he's a good-looking scorer for us, all right? It's the scoring that counts, right?
My only problem at the moment is purely for the fact that Port have a few teams coming up that actually tag. Like this week, who gets the Langdon treatment? He played on Nick Dacos this week. Who gets the treatment from that? I think they've got GWS in a couple of weeks as well, and maybe even a Geelong. So just have to be a little bit careful being like, well, Zach Butters is going to be great, but outside of kind of the tagging roles, maybe he's a good selection.
Yeah. Oh, what the hell? There's no way. There's no way. I don't know if this is legit or not, but apparently Dermot has said go Bombers on SEN.
Well, Archer May's now at the club and he's debuted. I mean, Dermy may have to change his tone, Joe.
Dermot Brereton say go Bombers on SEN. Oh my god, I never knew that this is what I wanted so badly in life, and it's finally happened. We screw over both Dermy and Collingwood in the one night. Oh, that is glorious. That is glorious. Oh, I'm so happy. But I like your trades, Jonas. Very, very nice. Good evening to you, Velo. Hope you're doing well. I have had a very busy week at work, and it was again very busy this morning, but hopefully tomorrow seems to be a bit more low-key.
Joe, are you pro Mckercher or not Mckercher?
Wait. I'm just gonna say before I answer that question, hold your ghost. Thank you so much, mate, for renewing your membership. We missed you in the Tuesday live stream. Hopefully you can catch the Tuesday next week. But McCarthy's going to be the Humphreys of last year. Potentially. Absolutely.
I hope so. 100% I hope so.
This week. I'm trading him in this week.
For myself, it depends if I'm going to have one downgrade option or 2. My original trades from the team review coming out on Tuesday kind of had me getting TDK and then McCarthy and Johnson in. But there may be an extra trade or 2 that might be saved if I look to bring in the likes of Mckercher this week. So I'm just kind of weighing up options and seeing, seeing what's happening, because it may force my hand or may be a great selection. We'll just wait and see.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm actually training him in this week because
there,
I've got.
there's no rush because he's on the bye next week. I'm pretty sure.
I
Um,
know.
and the DPP is fantastic, but he's on the bye next week. So, Mills, I might just go say, hey, I'll upgrade 2 players, get Mills in, and then get McCarthy in, regardless of bye or not. So, might just be the way to go, and what we'll see next week, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going early because I had Goldie here in the flex,
Yep,
and if we're naming another ruck, could mean less ruck
that's it.
time
Well,
for Goldie.
apparently the one that you picked up in the mid-season draft, he took something like 11 intercepts last week in the back line. So
Yes.
maybe you guys are going to run him as a key defender instead of a ruckman. So maybe Goldie will still play majority ruck this week.
Yeah, but Goldie hasn't been that great, has he? I mean, he's battling. He's battling. I'm not saying hasn't been that great. I think he's actually been fantastic, and thank God we have him. Thank God we have him. Thank God we have him. That's all I have to say. And thank you again. Hold your ghost, Captain
Thank
Flash.
you for being a member.
Yes, absolutely. Captain Flash, g'day lads. Going Lashcroft, Lindsay, and Gray to Butters, Johnson, and Mckercher, which again brings up: are we pro Mckercher or are we not pro Mckercher? The thing with Mckercher is you just don't know exactly what's going to happen with North Melbourne. There's so many chefs in the kitchen that could potentially play off half back. And how serious are North Melbourne about persisting with Sheasel playing that mid-forward role? Is he genuinely never going to go back to half-back? Because that's what they said before, and then he did play half-back for a bit, and then he's out again. And you can't be relying on people like Fisher to be doing anything like that off half-back. You just never know what's going to happen, really.
My sources say Mckercher is locked for half-back for the rest of the year. That's what my sources say. So take it with a grain of salt if you want. But my sources are telling me, hey, stick with it. He's going to play halfback. He's told everybody he's going to play halfback. So that's what I'm kind of basing my trade selections and stuff on. And the fact that he's got like a 20 break even this week means that I think if he scores 100, which could be doable. I mean, like we played West Coast last week and they just lose points everywhere. But if he scores 100, he's going to be like 420k. So you're giving up a little bit worth of cash to be wrong and then wait a little while. So it is doable to get him in again next week. But yeah, from what I'm hearing from my people, Mckercher locked half-back for the rest of the season. So yeah, take it to the bank, I guess.
Take it with a grain of salt, but also take it to the bank. What sort of bank are we taking it? The salt bank? Like, come on.
Well, I mean, barring injury, right? So last year, what killed him really was the foot injury. So if he doesn't get the foot injury back, doesn't have hot spots in his feet and all that kind of stuff, he would have played the rest of the year and we probably wouldn't have this negative feeling towards him as much. But I think
against him. It's nothing against him. No one has any negative feelings. Not even I have any negative feelings towards him, even though he burnt me to a crisp last year. It's not him. He's a great player. He's Zach Merritt 2.0. Like we all. No one has any issues with personal issues with Kirby Mckercher. It's just the role. Does the role stick? That's all it is. That's just the question.
I'm hearing that yes. I'm hearing that he's told people that yes, he's going to play the role for the rest of the year. That's what I'm hearing. So, yeah.
Well, the wonderful thing is
we've got 8 weeks left, Joe. Yeah. After round 16, there's 8 weeks left. So, yeah. If you get Mckercher, he's no good. If you get Mckercher and he's no good, you've got McCarthy coverage. So at the very, at the worst thing, you just have Mckercher, McCarthy as D6, for the rest of the year.
This is just pure crystal ball stuff. He played his first game fully in defense last week, and he played against West Coast.
Six kickouts, man.
Yeah, I know, but Caleb Daniel took 9.
I know. Well, so there's your 1-2.
There's your 1-2. Potentially, it could be what sticks, and he did have the best possible run with it. I mean, West Coast could not kick a goal to save their life. They missed a lot, and he had a lot of wide open looks. And it's not every week you're going to play against a bit of a rabble in West Coast as well. So, look, this might be his ceiling. This might be the best you get out of him. That one.
I mean, a 144 is a pretty good ceiling.
Yeah, so if 144 is his ceiling, the best you're going to get from him. If he averages you 100 at 393, then you're obviously very happy with that in terms of the value, and would make a good flex. But at that price, You're questioning: do you go with a Mckercher, or are you going with someone who's 40k less in mils? That's unless, or you have both. If you need a defender still.
Yeah.
I don't need a defender at all. So I'm not considering it personally.
I'm just kind of weighing up options. Seeing what happens, I guess.
Oh, you're fine, Captain Flash. Very nice. You're doing very well with your team, mate. CWT, g'day, mate. Simple trades this week for me. Lindsay and Carroll out for Sheeds, Ball, and Johnson. Oh, you're trading in the Shees this week. 100k cash and 8 trades to get Flynn to Gorn and Hewitt to Horny Boy or Darcy. Why are you getting Shees, if you don't mind me asking? At that price, would you not feel more comfortable getting someone like a Nazaya, unless you already have him? I personally prefer. I think with Sheasel, he definitely capitalized on a weaker matchup against the Eagles, whereas someone like a Nazaya, Wanganeen, Miller could potentially be top 6 as well from here on out. I don't know about Shees. Trading him in at this point. He's playing more of a general forward, almost high half forward. For the rest of the season, not that great. Okay, but not the best. Meanwhile, from a halfback perspective, the Saints have a pretty decent run. I think I personally I prefer Naz over Shees at that price. But I love it. You've got the trades and the cash to be able to get Gorney in. Well done to WT. G'day, Shawnee. Hope you're doing well. Causa, yes, we had great timing. We did have great timing. $2 fine for Joe being an Essendon fan. Piss off, fellow. I love it. It's pretty funny. Husweight back means I can get 23 this week. Woo, very nice. And more importantly, the cash gen. Cheese. Oh my God, you've changed your name. Howdy, boys. Been slacking on jumping on the Super Cash content. Bit burnt out this year. But how good is Archie debut incoming? It is so good, Cheese. Absolutely love it. And it is number 10. We do have 10 because, as you know, 9th debutant is him, and then the Ruckman Blackiston is number 10. So we have had 10 debutants this year as opposed to 11. So we're on 10, and may they continue. No one can say we're not playing the kids. That's for sure. Playing that port named Dual Rucks to temper the no Gorn blow. Bro, just don't even watch that game. Don't even watch that game, CWT. Believe me, it will be like having chopsticks in your eyes. Bailey, g'day, boys. Thoughts on Nank, Trainer, and Lashcroft out for Sherry or Butters? I have Gorn and TDK, Mckercher and Johnson. I don't know if I like Mckercher more than Mills plus 40k. Depends on your team. Depends on your team. If you need that 40k, it can go a long way to having a good team. 40,000. It's not a small amount of money, especially with cash gen so dead. Up to you. Sherry was someone that you could have got on ages ago. He's now 730,000. Break even of 152. He has come off his buy, but you did miss that 153. I don't know.
I'm back.
I reckon Butters probably is better because he's cheaper at the lower break even. So I prefer. I think trading in Butters instead of Sherry's maybe better because it's so late in the season with such dead cash gen to be forking up $730,000 at this point. I don't know if you have the best cash gen of all time to be able to do such a thing. But personally, I think getting Butters at 563 is a lot easier than getting someone like a Sherry, personally.
Yeah. No, like I had mad FOMO afterwards from getting Bontempelli at 680k. So yeah, it's a little bit rough.
11. Oh no, we just asked Grok, told us different answer. G'day, Ghost. With your wife, doesn't matter. Actually, your wife knows that. Your wife knows about us. She won't divorce
Yeah, so
you.
your wife. Right. Where's that $5 go every month? Oh, it's to my centre bounce people.
It's all right. Yeah, his wifey knows about us. She won't divorce you. Hola, Craig. How you doing?
What's up?
Glad I don't have any GWS players. I've got 5 players that round 16 buys and might side with Zeret, Neil, Zorko. Bruv, 5? Are you kidding me? Look at me.
And this was the problem with going someone like Caldwell as a good cash cow. I mean, like the play is great, but could end up getting a bit snagged. I'm a little bit worried, Joe, if we have a look at it with Mr. Bailey Smith. He's the one that I'm a little bit concerned about at the moment. Just trying to figure out what's happening. I hope he's named this week because the people that would have got rid of him 2 weeks ago would have been great. Yeah, a bit rough.
Zorko has actually been a miserable own. You take out that 166. Yeah, it has been very infuriating. I agree. He has been very disappointing. I agree. Yeah, he's been probably the one of the biggest letdown in my team for sure. I agree. Stuck between who to trade for Butters, Took, Zorko, or Neil.
Look,
probably not Took. I feel like
yeah,
Took's
probably not. It's Ricky.
He doesn't have round 16.
Really he doesn't have round 16. A lot of people jumping off the Lockie Neal train at the moment, just for the fact that people are saying he's going to cop a few tags over the next couple of weeks. So just really got to see what he comes up with. Yeah, it's not been great.
Brisbane for inside mids. Well, we saw Butters not give 2 shits about Bedford.
Well, there you go. Bedford's a little bit different than the other guy too, yeah.
But Bedford's normally a very good defender. Is normally a very good tagger. Geelong, I'm not sure if they'll put O'Connor on him. Then he has the bye. Port are a tough one, but will they actually send someone to him? Probably not. Carlton, will they actually send someone to him? Probably not. It's more so a head-to-head. The Dogs, yeah, they're a black hole for Supercoach points. They don't tag. Gold Coast don't tag. Collingwood don't tag. Sydney are a green matchup. I don't know. I don't think there's too many tags, personally, coming for Lockie Neal. And I feel like the one who's been most dangerous so far has been, by far and away, the most damaging Brisbane mid has been Mckercher. At what point does Mckercher start to get the attention? I don't know.
Well, he got it last week, right?
Mckercher? Nah, I think Mckercher just had it easy.
Wasn't it? He was he was definitely behind in terms of scoring for a little while.
Pretty sure Hugh Mckercher. Let's have a look. Mckercher. Where are you, mate? There we are. Got a 98. He still had 27 disposals. The only issue is that he had 44% disposal efficiency, but he had 27 disposals, 3 frees against. It was a high pressure game, lots of tackling. Yeah, I don't necessarily think he's the one who copped the tag. So if anything, he's the runner. He's the outside damaging player who's pushing up, and he's having a wonderful season, a career best season. It becomes a question of whether or not the tag starts to get some more attention, because this year he's averaging 26.8 disposals. So he's averaging 27 disposals a game at this point, and he's looking really good. So maybe Zorko is the one who goes. He's been quite ass. Fillet of fish, hey boys.
Little bit of a letdown if you've got him and some other people don't.
Oh, freaking Zorko's been so bad. Like, he has been appalling, and it's because it's because of the rise of Jasper Fletcher, who is a jet, and he's the one who's been giving more bounce, and he's the one who's been involved a lot more in the plays. Like, you look at this year, started hot, and then for the next 10 games, he's averaging 97.
Yep.
And that's obviously bolstered up with this 166. So, yeah. Mckercher had 0 in the first quarter, and then he got 98 in the next 3. So, yeah. He's a hot player. Hot player. Filet.
Figure out what I'm doing with my trades.
Roberts, Ashcroft, Lindsay, the Butters, Kennedy, and Johnson. I don't mind it. Kennedy's already had his bye, and I could have sworn I read somewhere that Bevo, who has had a contract extension, congrats to him, is going to be playing, believe it or not, Tom Liberatore off halfback.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I can say. That's my reaction, Joe. It's a tricky one.
He's playing him off halfback, so you think maybe the CBAs continue to be pretty good. If we go to the Bulldogs, you see that his CBAs, Kennedy, actually got a bit of a bump, and he has been Richards, Libba, Kennedy. He's been the 3rd most attendee on average in terms of the centre bounces, and he pushes forward. He's got DPP. He's come off the bye. I don't mind it personally. The only thing is, brace yourself, Filet, because he does a lot of good work and is criminally underscored for it. So don't watch Kennedy too closely. Just simply accept that CD, champion data, more like actually criminal data, don't really like him as much. So if he was the Bont playing the way that he plays, he'll be averaging a lot more. So I don't mind it personally, though. Good stuff. Praying Smith plays this week, don't we all? Chris Short's 11 for Essendon. No, Kako, Hayes, Pryor. Well, Pryor isn't really a debutant, though. Pryor isn't a debutant in the BT. Pryor has played for Brisbane before.
Did he play for Brisbane?
Yeah, he did.
I know that he that's why he was kind of the inflated Supercoach price, was it?
Yes, correct.
He played. Yeah, no, makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, technically Pryor, he's a club debut, sure, but in terms of an actual debutant, he is not. So yes. It is 10. G'day to the lads. How are you, Michael?
What's up, Michael?
It's ripped me a new one this week. I'll give you that. Velo, what is money trades and boosts? I don't know. I don't know any of those things. They're all foreign concepts to me, Velo.
Well, that's it. I mean, we might get Ned Long for a couple of weeks. Sorry, not Ned Long. Harry Hustwaite. Apologies for a couple of weeks, and few people have kept him. There's going to be a few other players, I think, as well. So we'll wait and see what happens.
James D'Alberto had a look at Clarko's presser, and
Yep.
it sounds like he wants one of Kirch or Shees down back, and he wants Hardiman to play wing. So that's good. When Archer comes back, Kirch locked in for me.
Mm.
So that's good when Archer comes back.
Yeah, I think it is one to watch. We'll see where he gets lined up in the team sheets today. But yeah, I think he'll be okay. It's more just about fitting him in. Like currently, I've got 3 spots left in the team. One wants to be Mills. One wants to now be Mckercher. And then, yeah, I have to kind of figure out what's happening with the forward line. So yeah, I went from being really squashy to now potentially picking up 2 keepers at sub 400k and see what happens.
Ricky Lol trading to Butters. Who goes, Zeret or Neil?
Look, I have more confidence in the run home that Lockie Neal is going to be a better player than Zach Merritt. That's my feeling. It feels like maybe it is when other players come back and whatnot, as Joe said before. But I have a feeling that Zachy Merritt has really struggled over the last few weeks to get to that 100. Potentially post-bye, he turns into what he was. But, yeah, my confidence with him is really low. And if I can trade him out, potentially that's the way to go. Yeah. Every week, like he'll have 1 good week out of 4 now, Zach Merritt. The only thing that really hurts Lockie Neal is the fact that they've got Dunkley, they've got McCluggage. Last week, Berry took a few points, a few of these other guys as well. So maybe that's the only thing that kind of puts me off the pick. But yeah, it's a bit rough.
The thing is, he's only playing here by necessity. You could afford to trade him out. He's going to continue to play in defense 14, 15, and then 16 is the buy round. And then from then on, Redmond is back, Reed is back, Mackay is back. Like all of our defenders come back. Oh, not all of them, obviously. Hayes has done an ACL, so he won't be back. But some of these defenders will come back, which obviously means then that Merritt will not be playing in defense.
I think Zach Reed's done for the season, too.
Yeah, Zach Reed's done for the season, correct. So 14, 15, 16 is that's what it is. So 14, 15, 16. 14, 15 is playing defense, 16 is the buy. If you don't want to wait that long, you can get rid of him. So yeah, you can sell him, and then after the buy, you can buy him for cheaper back again.
Look, for 15k, you can go Zach Merritt to Butters. Like it's pretty juicy, man.
If I had a boost, I'd go Zorko to Nas. But alas, boosts are a relic of a bygone era.
Yeah, and it's something that I was speaking to a couple of people on the Discord about, hey, what should we do and whatnot as well. Keeping a boost for the buy rounds, where even if you've got 6 to 9 trades, I mean, no one can have 6 trades this week, but not 9 to 12 trades or whatever it is. Being able to do 4 this week is pretty juicy. I mean, even with my original trades, I had like 30 or 40k left. Just being able to offload like a Zorko or a Zach Merritt and things like that. It's the people that, aren't stuck with a Lockie Whitfield playing forward for the rest of the season who are the ones that are going to end up doing really well. So, yeah, just kind of bit of a tough one. Learning things for next year, but that's all right.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I want Dermy. Honestly, man, that would be the greatest thing ever. Craig always planned Levi out before his buy and getting him a premium, getting Butters has to be a no-brainer. And you are correct.
Yeah, and that's where I've always been an advocate of trading up with our 400k rookies, because we were getting close to premium scores most weeks from them. It would be a shame to trade down to, a worse rookie on field. Because overall you're getting a lot worse in terms of scoring and points and things like that. So TDK is about 150k, 200k up is the likes of Zach Butters. And then you've obviously got Nazire and things like that as well. So, yeah, seems what happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Always trade up, never trade down.
Need to get back into that top 250, says Callum, as I fell out of top 500, going Neil, Hall, and Lindsay to Butters, Mckercher, and Johnson. No rookies on field. Just got, sexy. Good stuff.
Nice.
Only a
Nice
flex
work,
required with 6 trades.
Yeah, I've currently, after this week, I've done a couple of fantasyful trades with my side where I end up finishing the team with like 3 trades left and no rookies on field. But unfortunately, Callum Gray is F6 at the moment. So I'm really banking on one of like Horn Francis and stuff to end up being about 400K. And then I can offload and get a couple of players. So yeah, that's just the way we go at the moment.
Yep.
But you're great. Doing good, doing well. Just kind of the difference between me and you is the best 18. So just lucky.
Awesome. Good to see. Very nice. Squee, K-Legends, Levi out, Nats in, Sandy Brock out, Johnson in, 80 grand in the bank.
Nice.
From Primo. One from Primo, I assume.
Levi out, Nas in, Sandy Brock out, Johnson. Yeah, cool. Now that works.
7 trades left. Okay, so who's your upgrade going to... Levi out. Yeah, very good. Very nice. Yeah. I like it. Every game, Kurt has taken 6 or more kick-ins. He's average 107, in my opinion. Too good to pass up, given the low break-even.
Yeah.
Don't trust Kurt, rather Mills. Fisher has played as a true small forward on the weekend. The negatives are Clarko, the role, and who actually plays it. Fisher shouldn't even be playing AFL. I agree. Why not both Mills and Mckercher? Bring in Laverty. My defense is set. Holmes, Whitfield, Sinclair, Zorko, Rosie, and Sheasel. Very nice, Velo. I like it. Good stuff. Clarko moved Sheasel on ball to win the game last week. 47% CBAs, and he's gone at 120 in his last 16 games. Nas, 107.3 in the current role over the last 26 games. Fair enough. Good floor, but minimal ceiling for Nas compared to Sheasel, who we know can go massive, but also can have a very low score. Low floor. If I anti-pod him any longer, I'll 100% get crushed. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm bringing in TDK. I've gone Sherry, Butters, and Bond, so this is a must-have for me. Wow. You'll have all the big dogs, Charles. Very impressive. Very impressive. Big J, honest thoughts on possibly the worst game. I don't even want to talk about that. That is the worst game. It was so bad. And it was worse because I tipped the Eagles and you guys choked that win. I'm very disappointed in you. Why are people so sure on Butters when we've just seen Dacos get such a hard tag by Melbourne last week? People are so sure on Butters because he had a Bedford tag and he performed really well. He's playing at home. Butters is a harder player to tag, I think, than Dacos because of how dynamic he is and he's in and under grunt work. And Dacos just let himself... I feel like Dacos just let himself get pushed around a lot, but you can't really get that from Butters. Butters is an animal to be respectful in colloquial terms. Butters is a beast, and he won't back down. He won't take nothing from anybody. Butters has a break even of 90.
Cheap. Yeah,
90 break even, and he's come off his buy. He's probably one of the best premiums that you can trade in at that price point as someone who has come off the buy that could potentially rival the Bonds and the Dacoses of the world in terms of going 120 as an average and getting him at 563. You've already gotten an $85,000 discount. He could potentially have a tough matchup. He could. There's no doubt about it. But he could also potentially go anywhere between 98 and 184. So what's the average of that? Between 98 and 184, 98 plus 184 divided by 2. He could go 140 again. And if he does that, then you're not very happy because he would have bottomed out at, say, he goes 140. He's back up to 584 again, and you don't really want to be spending that much money on him. So it just seems to be a really good time, I guess, to trade him in. And looking at the run for inside mids, for Adelaide, they have a sort of middling fixture. They're green. Green. I think I don't. And yes, Carlton might be a tougher matchup, and Brisbane might be a tougher matchup. But we saw what the likes of Caldwell did against both of those two teams, and
Yeah, it's
turned
not
up.
the same.
So, I'm not, but like Caldwell's a great player, but we're talking about Zach Butters here. You know what I mean? So they've got West Coast. I think there's a lot of positives to trading in someone like Butters at this point. Oh, Mark!
Mark. Oh, no, Joe lost him. Thanks, Mark. 2 more debut at Essendon, May and Blackstone. Here, Pickett is now locked. Mate, I tell you what, there's a few people saying Aussie Pickett, superstar, like Ben over here, but I don't know, man. Contracts are made to be broken. Grundy left on big money, and I think Melbourne is still paying for him. So, yeah,
it's not broken, is it? It's not quite broken, is it?
Lock in the contract, have a bad couple of games, and then I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere else. So, yeah, it's very interesting. But nice to have a few more debutants for Essendon. I was talking up Matt Rosa today, just being like, well, we've seen Richmond have a rebuild in a year or two. I think Essendon are going to be rebuilding on the fly with all their nice debutants they've brought in. If I was out of contract at Essendon, I'd be saying, hey, when do I get to sign? When do I get to sign? Because, mate, you're out the door, really. You got to fight for your spot now at Essendon, not I'm left. Well, they'll sign me again.
Yeah, there is a thing going around Essendon circles. In Rosa, we trust. It is it feels so different. And the crazy thing is, as difficult as it is for the club to be able to manage with so many injuries on the injury list, it could, in a sick way, be a blessing in disguise, because it means that all of these players that Rosa has drafted are all getting a gig immediately, faster than normal. And the impressive thing is, none of these kids have looked out of place at AFL level. They've all come in and they've played a role, and a lot of them stayed in the team for a number of weeks, and some of them are still playing right now as we speak. So all of these kids that Rosa has drafted, all of them look like genuine players that are playing roles for the club. So that's just fast tracks the development. So as difficult as it's been from a results perspective, like we could have beaten Carlton, we could have beaten Brisbane, we could have done better against other teams, but ultimately it's all about the rebuild and all about the development, and that's all been fast tracked as a result of the injuries. So well done to Rosa, well done to the Bombers. Congratulations to May and Blackiston. Hopefully they come in. They've got very tough opposition this week in Geelong, and I fear it's going to be really bad. We've signed on, of course, Zach Reid extended for 3 more years, which is good to see. Hopefully his body can get better. But I do think Cozzy Pickett, I think Melbourne needed to keep Cozzy Pickett. I think he's really important for their structure. He's really important for them moving forward. They can't be relying on players like Van Rooyen and Bailey Fritsch, who are very unreliable, and someone like a Fritsch who is very selfish and a bit of a spud at times, and he has a very punchable face, and I'm not sure even if his mother likes him at this point. So you need guns in your forward line, and Cozzy Pickett is a gun who not only plays as a great forward, but has also been playing a lot more in the midfield. We saw it in the stats last week. He had 98% CBAs. 92% CBAs, off the charts. I think Cozzy Pickett is one of those players who's worthy of a massive contract. Whether or not he stays or goes eventually to WA, that's something that's yet to be determined. But at the very least, the question is, what does that mean for the rest of the players at Melbourne? Can they afford to pay everybody else?
What I think it was John O'Ralph was talking about it this week, saying once the news broke, Melbourne, I think, are paying 3 players over $1.5 million. So it's rough. I know salary caps are going up, but you've got a few of these other guys on some money. It's pretty bad at the moment. And as Corey says here, we could have had Cozzy, but we decided to pick Will Phillips, Corey. We got Will Phillips. Yeah, it was rough. We ended up giving away our first round pick that turned into Cozzy. So, yeah, bit rough there.
Let's see. What does this mean? Who's out of contract at Melbourne next year? What is it? This will obviously put a strain on them being able to hold on to their players.
Team sheets in 3 minutes.
Rich, Salem, Chandler, Jefferson, Stephen May.
Yep.
Tom Sparrow.
But they'll stay for cheap, right? So Stephen May's not going to say, well, you better keep me. I'm on like $1 million a year. I don't think that's going to be Stephen May. If you go back to the list for Melbourne, 1 or 2 will go again. There'll be a few other players, but like Aiden Johnson, no one really cares. Laurie will probably go. Fritsch is potentially one that like a North Melbourne or someone looking for a half decent high forward will say hello to. Bowie.
Jake Bowie. He should be paid.
Bowie's definitely probably the one that's really left on the list that could ask for some money, but that's really it. Like they're all kind of plotters.
What about 2027?
Like, who's up for contract from Melbourne this year?
Eddie, Langford, gone. Yeah, but you think maybe by that time, gone. Rivers, Lindsay, their rookie contracts would be up. Lindsay and Langford. By that point, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Melbourne. They are paying a lot of money for very few people. So let's keep moving. Saving the 160K Butters over Sherry Cook. Exactly. 100%. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. Or save your trade, which is probably the big thing.
Yes.
Like for us that have 6 trades left or 9 trades before this week, 1 or 2 trades could be a huge difference. Like that could be a primo, really.
Well, there you go. Bedford swapped. But I think someone was still running with. I think someone was still given a task to run with Butters, but he just couldn't give 2 shits about whoever they were. Jake Kelly, g'day fellas. Feedback please in Johnson, Butters, and Sarong for Roberts, Lindsay, and McAuliffe. Leaves me with 7 trades with an R2 and a flex for upgrade. Have Goldie and Levi still.
Ooh, interesting. R2 still left.
He's got Goldie at R2, I assume, and Levi Ashcroft in the flex.
At the flex. Johnson, Butters, and Sarong. I like it. I think North Melbourne's going to get a bit roughed up. Roberts, Macaulay. Yeah, I like it. As long as you got some cash gen to upgrade Goldie to like a TDK for 200K. I think you're right. I think team sheets have now dropped, Joe.
All right.
So head over to the team sheets. Yeah, one Harry Hustwaite is named, but we knew that already.
G'day, Frankie, Neil, Lindsay, and Gray for Butters, TDK, and Johnson. Very nice. Very nice. I like it. We played there as well last week. Correct. McCarthy confirmed. Yes, indeed. See you, Charles. Hope you have a good one.
Catch Charles.
I didn't think he played for Brizzy. Yeah, he had.
Yeah, it's only like 1 game.
Why do you think Hustwaite is coming back? Probably to replace Warple.
Yep.
Do you think it was a good move that North traded their first rounder?
Look,
probably not.
It really depends on where we end up in the draft. If we end up really far down, then it's not great. But if we end up, let's say, like 13th or 14th with a couple more wins, this year's draft is so compromised. Like it is actually horrendously compromised. That you're just struggling. So half of them are all father sons. The other half are Gold Coast Academy picks. Grabbing a player that we thought that might be a good selection that ends up being he equated to like a pick 10 or something this year. Okay. Yeah. It's just that he hasn't really played much this year. He's been doing okay in the VFL, but it's just that he hasn't really played much this year. So, yeah. see how we go.
Alrighty then. So we start with the Saints tonight against the Doggies at Marvel Stadium. Mckercher returns, as does Stocker. Sam Darcy returns, dodged an ACL. Congratulations to him. Wish some of our players had as much luck as he did. And Cooper Hines also back in as well. So what do we see here? We see Mckercher is going to be coming off the bench. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You don't read into this shit. What do we reckon? I'm tipping the Doggies in this one.
Yeah, I've picked the Doggies as well. I think they're going to smash them through the midfield. Mckercher coming back from injury. Wouldn't be surprised if he took a couple of knocks and may end up being the sub halfway through. So we'll just see what happens. But I think the Doggies have got them covered in a few positions on the ground. So, yeah, definitely going Doggies for me.
Thoughts on the Bont as the VC this week? I think that's what I'm doing. I'm going Bont VC.
Look, the cheeky Thursday night VC is always definitely there. But for myself, it's hard to go the two ruckman. If I end up getting TDK in, like I think I am, or even just going, Cherry into Gorn, that kind of thing. They both have okay matchups, so it would be hard to go past that, especially after how Bont burnt me last week. I'm happy to have Bont have the big score, but he did hurt, so I prefer not to.
I'm so glad. You know what? It's just set up. Everyone VC'd Bont last week, and he burnt them, so everyone's going to feel like they're not going to go for it. I'm going to double down and VC the Bont. Everyone will have been scared off from last week, and the Bont is just going to freaking fly through and give me a 180 on a Thursday night. I'm manifesting it. Let's go. Bont versus the Saints, the Bont to win. I've tipped the Bont by 11 points. I'm going to respect St. Kilda. I think they're not bad. I'm going to tip them only by 11 points this week.
Yep. There you go.
Hawks v. Crom in UTAS. Warple injured. Hustwaite comes in immediately, even though he has not been an emergency ever. He just comes back in. Not too bad. And the Wizard has overcome his illness. Eat slugs. Finn McGuinness has been dropped. Nobody to tag this week. Murphy comes in for the suspended James Peatling.
Yeah,
because
and
this
Hustwaite named on field as well, which is
doesn't really matter where they're named. To be honest,
well,
you can watch.
He's not going to be sub.
He won't be sub.
Knew that he wasn't going to be sub. So, yeah.
I reckon because this is at UTAS Stadium, I'm going to tip the Hawks because they play that ground so well.
Yeah, that's who I've picked as well. I think the Lockie Murphy for Peatling really, really shows their level of depth at the moment. Nice to have Pedler named for those people that brought him in last week, but they're definitely not like-for-like players in terms of what they give on field. And Hawks at home, let's go. I think Ginnivan's going to have a fun day this week.
The most exciting thing from a Supercoach perspective when it comes to Adelaide is that we can be excited that Sid Draper is going to be so cheap rookie for us next year.
It's going to be great. Just hope that they don't end up getting Naz or someone, and then there's another primo that gets kicked out of the team. So Sid Draper at like 102K or whatever it is. It's going to be fun. Him and Jagger Smith might be auto locks next year.
Yeah, exactly. So loving it. Sid Draper, keep not playing. All right. That today, Starcevic comes back. Gallup's been dropped. Sam Day's come in. Devin Robertson's
player of the week. Finn Callahan is back.
Ooh,
I doubt anyone's actually got him in their Supercoach teams, but Finn Callahan is back. Hopefully that may steady the ship a little bit for the likes of Lockie Whitfield too. We'll pretend that didn't happen, Joe. But yeah, nice to see him back. I picked Brisbane at home. I know it's been pretty shaky for them recently, but it's hard to go past Brisbane at home. So Fort hopefully beats Madden into the ground. We'll see.
I just love it. Finn Callahan is the good shepherd. He is looking after the sheep.
He's the sheep.
He is good for steady the sheep. Finn Callahan, our wonderful shepherd. I will also be tipping the Lions at home. Not because I have tremendous confidence in them, but because it's at home and they're good at home. And Starcevic is a very underrated defender. Love the Stars. Ooh. All right. Interesting. So Baz is in. Good to know. Baz is in, ladies and gentlemen. We love to see it. Hobbsy dropped. Okay. Why the hell is Perkins not with him? That's what I want to know. Why is Perkins not dropped as well?
Or Zach Johnson's not dropped, though.
Nah, Zach Johnson's not getting dropped. Are you kidding me? But Perkins was just completely pushed off the ball, easy as he dropped like a sack of potatoes, let's just say, and immediately got subbed out within 30 seconds of that happening. I could have sworn that Perkins was going to be dropped as well, but he's dodged a tremendous bullet. Hobbs is gone, and Durham's obviously suspended. So, what are we doing with this team? Potentially Blackiston comes in as a defender because Goldie is still named. So Goldie's still going to be the number 1 ruck. Occasionally Blackiston might pinch hit.
Oh, I said this at the I said this at the start of the show, right, Joe? That he had all those intercepts and was playing key defender in the VFL. So
I think Blackiston's going to be playing as a defender. So Blackiston plays in defense. Hobbs is dropped for May.
Yep.
So that he can play that forward, because I'm pretty sure the CBAs were pretty low for Hobbs, playing more as a forward. Do
you think Archer Day Wicks will be your sub?
Hobbs, no CBAs at all. Yeah, maybe Archer Day Wicks is the sub. So Hobbs, not getting any midfield time. So Hobbs is out for May. May comes in for him to play forward. Now Durham is a mid, but we haven't brought in a midfielder. So potentially we might see more midfield time for Merritt this week. Potentially. Because I think we saw very early on in the game against Carlton that having Parrish in there, having Durham in there, there's a few of these, and Caldwell, all of these players are see ball, get ball. None of them are the outside type to receive the handball from those guys to have a nice, beautiful kick inside 50. And I think maybe we're going to work on that balance, and potentially Merritt has more midfield time this week. Will be interesting to see. We definitely need him in there, considering who we're up against in the Cats. But the Cats definitely are going to win. They are my tip this week, for sure. We are $5.10. This is obviously...
Yeah, I've picked Geelong.
Yeah, so I'm tipping the Cats as well. Sorry, Mark. I know you love to hold the faith. Meanwhile, Cal Dawson comes in for the injured Combin, which makes sense, of course. Against the Dockers and Optus Stadium. No changes for the Dockers.
There's a certain Mckercher that I may have to go back on my word on, but certain Mckercher's named at half forward. Look, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Zachy Fisher will play there, but Clarko may be playing his sneaky tricks. We'll see.
Well, no one's going to put any attention to Mckercher. There's no need to play tricks on anybody. Let's be real. The Dockers could not give two shits who you name anywhere. The Dockers should be expecting to come in and win, especially with Combin out of the side, and they're playing on their home deck at Optus Stadium. I don't think the Dockers would be necessarily looking too deeply into what you're doing. They have their system, they have their method, and they're going to back it in to win. So, and again, when it comes to where people are named, I honestly could not care less, because this is not set in stone whatsoever.
I do love the Shy Bolton named right in the middle of the centre, though. I think that's great for my sanity at the moment, having him currently at F3. So, yeah.
Very interesting. Well. Sorry, North, I am tipping the Dockers in this one.
Look, it's probably fair. Let's be honest.
Wow, you guys are less odds than we are.
It's North Melbourne, and we're not even playing at home. We're playing at Freo's home ground. Like, what do you want,
Fair enough. Sunday, extended
Yep.
lineups, but we do know
Manny
Finlayson
Liddy.
has dropped.
Who's Manny Liddy? Where's this person come from? What a name, Manny Liddy. Oi, oi, oi. Was he like South
Does he
African
look
or
like
something?
Manny?
No. Let's check him out. Where's he from? I know nothing about this play.
Oh, different spelling.
Yeah,
Different spelling. Well,
I
I think
reckon
Manny.
check,
I think
Joe.
it is guy.
Check. I reckon he's South African. Just check. See if you can look him up.
Oh, I have to type in Manny Liddy.
Player profile, maybe?
I don't think it's going to tell me what country it's from.
No, that's fair. That'd be pretty funny.
He's Australian, bro. He's Australian. Trust me.
Australia. He's from Adelaide. That's all we need to know.
He's from Sandford.
Yeah, I've never heard of him before, but apparently he's playing. So there you go.
No, it's not apparently. This is extended lineup on Sunday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, he's been named.
Yeah, as a potential. Where is he? Last guy on the bench.
All right. Number 50.
Number 50. That's a number. That's a number right there.
A few of us have already offloaded Xavier Lindsay, so if you've still got him, okay. Cozzy Pickett named in the forwards, okay. Petrarca named in the centre. Cool. Max Scorn. Could be the last week of Max Scorn for myself at the moment. So, yeah, see how we go.
So Viney's named on field, so you'd think that Viney's in. So Viney is back. Viney is back in this week. No, Tom McDonald on the bench and Sharp's on the bench. I thought Sharp looked all right, to be honest. I thought he was a sharp player. But yeah, I'm tipping Port at home. Oh, Sweet potentially could be in. Where is Sweet? First interchange. Okay. Sweet is first interchange.
Look, if
Horn
Port
Francis
want to
is
win
on field. So Horn Francis is going to be playing.
If Port want to win, they need to play a second ruck. One of the few negatives with the Melbourne team is that they don't really have a dedicated second ruck forward that's any good. So being able to have kind of the 1-2 punch against him is probably better.
Potentially. But yeah, I'm tipping Port Power in this one.
I think I've tipped. Oh no, sorry, I have tipped Port at home.
It is a close one though. They have been playing very well in recent weeks.
Manny Liddy, Michael says here, the young gun midfielder. Must have been mid-season draftee, maybe.
Well, if he comes in, well, we know Juan Fran's going to play midfield, which probably means that our boy Hugh Jackson gets kicked out, potentially. So, yeah, maybe only one rookie to be able to trade in this week. And then the last game of the round is the West Coast Eagles hosting Carlton at Optus Stadium. No Gross still. Cole is injured. McCarthy, I think, comes straight in, but he is... Oh, this is by numerical order, so don't read too much into that. But McCarthy has been confirmed that he will debut this week, so don't worry about that, which is good. Clay Hall, maybe, but they might just simply go Cole out, McCarthy in. They could just do that. I don't know if they're going to name Bailey Williams. They'd have to drop someone else, of course. Meanwhile, for Carlton, do any of these guys play? They've also got... No, they haven't gone in numerical order.
I want Matt Carroll to have one more week. I think that would be fantastic for him. If Clay Hall doesn't play, I'm happy because I don't own him. But Matt Carroll, one more week, potentially. Only got the break even of 34, so you'd hope that they give away a few points to him. And I can offload him to McCarthy for close to 100k, which would be great next week. That would be the dream.
Yeah, tipping the Blues for this
one.
one.
You have to tip the Blues, Joe. You can't not tip the Blues. Crikey.
So what was wrong with Mackay? Why is Mackay not playing?
I don't know, but he's not been named again. So,
What's
makes
wrong
you wonder, doesn't it?
What's wrong with that Spud? Knee. Still suffering with the knee. Okay. Interesting. So he hasn't got up. Well, there's no need to force him against the Eagles. Sorry, Michael. I know you're an Eagles supporter, but there's no need to risk him if he has a knee complaint with his knee injury. So yeah, still tipping the Blues in this one. These are my tips. I think they're mostly pretty straightforward. Yeah, pretty straightforward for the most part there. I'm obviously out of gauntlet, unfortunately, because Melbourne couldn't kick a goal to save their life. 1 goal, 12 in the second half, the bastards. So,
Told you
yeah.
to go and pick someone else.
Bro, they won the game in everything but the scoreboard.
Unlucky, Joe. Unlucky.
Oh, so they have the umpires for some of the games already as well. All right. Oh no, not Jacob Mollison.
Change your tips, boys and girls.
Look, it doesn't even matter. We'll never have a chance anyway. Matt Stevic in Tassie. All right. So there you go. There you have it. VCs and Cs. Who can you possibly go? The Bond's a good one. Don't want to go anybody here. Wouldn't go anybody here. Geelong, you could go with a Baz if he is indeed healthy and plays. Or you could even go with a Max Holmes in ripping hot form. Great outside player. Brad Scott is a terrorist.
Apparently he's a terrorist.
What's he done? What's he done?
He's just Brad Scott.
Brad Scott is a terrorist. What's he done? Bro, he's not the one injuring the players. What are you talking about?
Apparently it's been released. It's been released that Bont will get tagged this week. So we'll see what happens from Ducky here, but would make sense. Excuse me, I've got a cough.
You know what that means? It just means more contested knock-ons. It just means more contested possessions. When was the last? Was he tagged the last time they played? Let's have a look. Bond. Last time he played against the Saints. For his last 3 times, he's gone 125, 125, 159. Windhanger has been used as a tagger for a number of years. They're going to be breathing fire, the Dogs, after losing last week. I don't have Richard, so I can't VC him. That would have been cool. I don't have Dale either. That would have been cool too. Unless I VC like Holmes or a Baz. I don't feel confident. But I still had Gorn. VC Gorn into declining was just free. I'm just gonna go with the Bond. He did it earlier this year. That's the thing. Like that's when I was doing the team. When I did my team review, I was so shocked. I'm like 2025. We're in 2025 right now, and then I realized this is the first double up of the year. So he went 159 on them earlier in the year. Why can't he do it again? Why can't he do it again? Latest sample size. And if it doesn't work, DeConning will still be a very good VC.
If you've got him, if you got the Richards. How's the community team going, Joe? I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. Do I bring in TDK? That is the question.
At 6. McCarthy will play for sure, but if he is the sub, I'm just going to play it safe and put Clark on field. Oh, Clark or Johnson? Johnson's half back. Clark's more of a wing. Which one scores better? I assume both are going to be shit against Geelong. Essendon. Geelong's neutral against the defender. Okay. And what are they to halfbacks? Essendon. Oh, green. Oh, they're green. All right, they're green. All right, I'll put then. All right, what I'll do is I'll put Zach Johnson on the field then. Green matchup for halfbacks. Very nice. So I'll put Johnson on the field there. Shame none of these guys have forward DPP. I've got 6 plus 8. McCarthy will be playing this week. But if McCarthy's the sub, I don't want to risk that. So maybe it's better to field both of the Essendon boys who I know won't be subs. Yeah. All right, that might be safer. Have 2 non-sub rookies on the field there. So I've got a full back line, a full midfield with Johnson, and obviously I've got the 2 out in the forward line. So looking good for this week. Looking good for this week in terms of number of players. Let's have a look at the community team. Also try and scroll up to see some of the comments.
Sorry if I space out, guys. I'm just trying to figure out my team.
Yeah, that's all right. You can do that.
I got a few things going on in my head. What do I want to do?
Merritt will hit his break even this week. Oh, I hope he does. Buy high, sell low. You got it. You know the exact way of how not to make money. It's amazing. You're a very good man. Durham is out for 2 weeks. He might play there this week. You never know. It's true. Good. Marco also says that Mckercher can be flexible with his role. But it looks like Hardiman goes to a wing, so I'm going to take the gamble. He's also a very good defender, though.
Yeah.
Next year, my aim is
Hardiman
to save
one-on-one is very, very good.
Next year, my aim to save around 20 trades and 2 boosts for the buy period.
Good luck.
That's a good one. I feel like we didn't even ask. Do we want Clark or Pryor on field community? Full defense, full midfield, full ruck. We're only missing the 1 forward and going into DeConning. Bro, this team is hot. Oh, this team is so hot.
Yeah. Even like, you don't have Hustweight anymore. Sorry, Joe.
No, this is community team. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, but no Hustweight, unfortunately.
Thank you, Velo. I agree. Angus Clark on field over Pryor. I agree. Thank you. Beautiful. The Bombers are coming through for us this week.
There's no sneaky DPP that you can do either to try and get like both of them on field and no day costs. But
we don't want
matters too much.
Pryor's getting traded out, very soon. We don't mind. Thanks, Mark. Yep, good. We're going with Clark. Johnson will be fielded for day costs, and he's playing halfback, which is fine. McCarthy is maybe a sub. I don't think he will be, but we're just gonna go with Johnson anyway. So it's looking good. Going into DeConning is the hottest combination. Gorn's gone like 177 the last 2 times he played against. The last time he played against Port Adelaide. He's going to smoke Dante. Absolutely smoke him like a cheap cigarette. I'm going Neil, Fonte, and Levi to Butters, Nass, and Mckercher. 2 upgrades, 9 trades. Very nice. Bailey, back again, lads. Cash gen for me is Erasmus, Pedler, Clark, Hustway. Then bring in the 99k in it. So if I do Butters instead, I have 300k in the bank, 10 trades with 3 premiums. That's good. Yeah, get Butters, have that money, and finish your team. Lachlan going Visentini, Gray, and Gross for Johnson, McCarthy, and Butters, leaving me 17,000. But I have a boost. Wow. Think Zorko out, but not sure who to. I have Nas, Dale, Holmes, Rosie, and a rookie. 17,000 plus Zorko. Well, you could get the Shees if you want, like CWT is doing. You could get Sheezel. Or if you're ballsy, Mckercher. Benjamin hasn't really been as good as Hank lately, though. Maybe they've found him out. Or I can go the Sherry route and have about 100k. Yeah, but Sherry's way too expensive. Would you go TDK or Butters this week? That's a good question. Look, if you had to pick one or the other.
For the purpose of pure points on field, you have to go TDK.
Yes.
Because West Coast give up all of the points. Yes. West Coast, I think the last couple of their games, let me just quickly pull up fan footy, just so I can rub it in their face a little bit. But West Coast last week, who did they play? Who did they even play? West Coast versus North Melbourne. they just give up all the points. The differential is like huge, absolutely atrocious. So yeah, it's something to be watched out for, I think, a little bit. Supercoach, North Melbourne beat them by 200 points, but West Coast have had games where they've lost by 800. And I really do think that Carlton are going to walk in there and just slap them. Excuse me. So
slap.
TDK works really well. Flynn, I think, is due for a trade out. If you're West Coast, probably see what you can do in terms of the trade table, unfortunately, for him. So, yeah, it's a bit rough.
Harris, thoughts on keeping... That's a lovely profile picture. That's very nice, Paris. I like it. Thoughts on keeping Rowan, Marshall, or Lockie Neal? Is a sideways to either Butters or TDK a good punt for either?
Sorry, my computer's been funny.
Marshall. I've heard Marshall is not quite right. Roma Tomato. Break-even of 179.
He's going to drop in money.
He's going to drop in money. Last time, wow, he has a pretty bad record the last 2 times he's played again. He scored 65 last time. Holy shit!
Yeah,
you can trade out. You can trade out Marshall to.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have a fun day
to DDK.
Could be surprised.
What's the run like? For the Rucks, St Kilda might kill ya. Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But it's not quite Carlton's. Carlton's a bit better. Substantially better. More solid green matchup. So I don't think you're losing if you go Roma to TDK. Weak Hagan, lads, my mids are Bont, Brayshaw, Libba. Yeah, Libba might be a bit of a concern. Neil, Chera, Sarong, Raul, Dacos. Yeah, maybe keep an eye on Libba if he's playing a lot more defense, man. That's not his role. And he might have to be a trade out. Zach Reid, yes, indeed. Very happy about that. Michael, my dentist locked me in for 9 years as well, and I'm sure he'll make more than mouth robber, is what I say.
Yeah, there you go.
Tooth robber.
I love it.
Tooth robber. Hippo, how are you, bro? If you haven't subscribed to Hippo,
how you doing?
Legend. Michael, wow, Eagles really had to tank hard on that block. I know, but it hurt my tip. Fridge copping strays. Deserved. It is. I like to think of myself as a based supporter. I give praise to people who deserve praise, and I criticize people who deserve criticism. So, yeah.
So just checking from Discord news at the moment, Fairy Tale debut from at Port Adelaide. Understand mid-season draftee Manny Leddy will play against Melbourne on Sunday. 23-year-old was a full-time aircon mechanic 2 weeks ago and will be playing his first ever AFL game this weekend.
Yeah. We're a big fan. We're a big fan of the aircon mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
We're a big fan.
Give him a chill, they'll get a few chills when he runs past.
Oh yes, absolutely, very nice. He will be AFL. What will be AFL's first player to wear a leg sleeve due to serious?
Yep.
Okay, leg sleeve. Not bad. Good size. I'm looking at Mitch Cleary saying Bailey Smith is in. There you go. May sign for 1 more year. Yeah, 1 year contracts are never very promising. But yeah, Mitch Cleary. If Mitch Cleary is saying that he's in, then he's in. Kai, how are you, Kai? Baz name is a start. Still feels late out worthy. I mean, isn't everybody late out worthy at Geelong?
Mate, my forward line would cry, Kai. But the worst thing is, Kai, no Ben Patton this week, so it sucks. Sorry, mate.
Hey, Bailey. Thanks, man. Bailey. Thanks for your help last couple of weeks. Anytime, mate. Anytime.
Always.
You should know that. You should know the slogan by now. And we do it for you guys. We do it for the community. We do it for some fun. And yeah, really appreciate your generosity, my friend. You did not have to do that at all. Kai, is it compromised or is it just that the available talent is shocking? Teams wouldn't have access to these players either way unless the matching team doesn't have enough points. Is the available talent that shocking?
I'm not sure what.
Potentially it could be. There is a scarcity. I know there's a scarcity here, at least in Victoria. But the good thing for the Bombers is we don't give two shits about Victoria. We love looking at WA. We want all the WA players. Come to the Bombers, please. Because
Well, mate, finish what you're going to say, right? But
I was going to say just very quickly. We're rating the WA waffle because Rosa obviously played for the Eagles and is intimately familiar with the waffle program because he was working at West Coast over there. And obviously Craig Votso, our CEO, also was the CEO of West Coast. And he obviously would have a lot of knowledge as well of the waffle program. So that's the reason why we are rating the waffle, and we've been doing it well because we at least have experience there. Go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm still very, very much a fan of the Waffle League. One of the few places in the AFL that just hasn't really been touched in terms of stealing talent. I mean, we saw Tim Kelly come out of there a few years ago. Nick Martin's come out of there. There's been quite a few players every year. It's where all the good mature age players come out of as well. I think McCarthy was potentially from there too. So there is a lot of very, very, very good players in that league. It's very isolated. And you could probably make a team of all the good Waffle League players and you would do okay in the AFL, plus like a half-decent ruckman. So it's kind of the last untapped talent area, and looks very, very good.
Yeah. All right.
I may get Zach Butters in this week.
Me too. I'm on the VC Bont. Very nice. I have a full playing team. Get in there, Hustle rate. Very nice. The Big Fog will score 10. 10 points or 10 goals? Adelaide is going to win the midfield battle, and the small forwards are going to go to maul the Hawthorn backline. So you reckon even in UTAS, even in Tassie, the Crom are just that good. Well, the Crom are that good. I had the Crom as finalists this year, and potentially a top 6 caliber side, and they do look sensational. But for some reason, teams just go to Tassie and lose. I don't remember. When was the last time the Hawks lost in Tasmania?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't remember. Hustle preferred over Cam McKenzie. G'day, Sportsnut. Hustle preferred over Cam. It is interesting. Very interesting. Sardis not even an emergency. He's 100% buried and off to a new club next year. Absolutely. Sardis is dead and buried. He's already packed his bags and said
he's probably going to West Coast.
Hopefully, if we involve him in a trade to get Harley Reid, that would be great. Perkins is Scott's pet. You are very right, Mark. I don't know how the hell he continues to avoid getting dropped. It is ridiculous. Yes, Joe, the old team of Parrish and Zach in around the ball. Hopefully. They make a great combo. They make a great duo, Parrish and Zach.
Don't say that because I've just traded Zach Merritt out.
Sorry. I don't think Freo respect the ruse. No, I don't think they do, Stuart. I think you're right. I think they're going to play their game and not give two shits about North. I agree.
Probably.
Velo, Joe, Essendon, $5.10 and North, $5.75. Not sure how North is lower odds. I know. That's exactly what I said. I personally think North are a better chance than we are against Geelong.
That's saying North is a worse chance, Joe. North is a worse
chance.
I know.
And we're questioning the bookies. We're saying that the bookies, like we're not sure how the bookies have come to this. Like Velo and I are sort of in agreement that we think it maybe should be other way around. That you guys should be 5'10 and we should be 5'75. That I agree with. And Manny was pick 16. Very nice. Tatum, do we really read too much into where players? Agreed. I don't read into that. The only thing we read into it is if you're named on field, it means you're less likely to be a sub. That for me is the only thing I read on field. And if it's extended list, like on Sunday, if you're named on field, again, it means that you're in the side and that you're not extended bench. As long as you're extended bench on a Sunday, then the odds are that you're not going to play, potentially. But if you're named on field, it means you're in for the most part. That's all I look at the team sheets for, not necessarily in terms of where the roles are going to be. Because we know Bevo is notoriously famous for having Caleb Daniel in the ruck, for example. Which is ridiculous. Hey, Mark, what are you doing, bro? Stop it. Okay, Joe. Again, will be a loss, but not by much. Cats better be on their game because the young Dons will be in the game for a long time. A scary game for the Cats. Dons look dangerous with their younger side. Look, you have a point. We do look much more dangerous these last couple of weeks playing the youth. And we definitely took it up to the Lions and we definitely took it up to the Blues. The Cats are a special talent, though. They are a different kettle of fish, and they've regained Bailey Smith this week, which is, of course, quite terrifying for us. We just simply have to go, do our best, give it a crack, and start the first quarter and not arrive half an hour later to the game. We can't be giving up 6-goal leads at quarter time and expecting to win. So as long as we can have a decent start to the game and not be 50 points behind, then hopefully the youth can use it as a good learning experience. Will McCarthy be sub? I don't think he should be. He is mature age.
No, I don't think so.
And he has played really well in the VFL, in the Waffle, I mean. He had 46 disposals, 10 marks and a goal last week in the Waffle. So I don't think that is sub-worthy, personally. Carlton for Gauntlet this week, feeling slightly nervous. Fair enough. Burden for Will White will be our only change. Paul Allen, Zorko, Lindsay, and Warner to Butters and Johnson. You're trading up 3 players for 2? How does this work, Paul? I think
Come on,
maybe
Paulie.
unless you're doing Zorko and Lindsay to Butters and Johnson without Warner being in there potentially. Harry has knee injury, knee soreness. Step. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Then next week, Long and Davidson to Carroll and Long and Davidson and Carroll to McRae, Mills, rookie team done. Excellent.
Nice.
Joey all told you to pick easier wins. Bro, that was an easy win. They smacked them, but they pissed me off. But yes, you are correct. Yes, we saw that. VC Bont into Sherry or VC Sherry into Butters?
Look, I personally would say no Bont. I think it's going to be fun watching him dominate, but he could easily enough put up numbers like he did last week, and then you've wasted your VC. It all worked out fine. Cherry went 153. We're all happy. But St Kilda want to win, and they've got a plan against it, against Bont. 100%. They're like, Bontempelli's the most dangerous. We don't care about anyone else in the team. That's just how they're going to play. So I would be very wary of doing that this week.
What that will do is that will just send Bont forward, and Bont will take marks and kick goals.
Yeah, but he didn't last week. That's the problem. Like he
had more CBAs last week, and he wasn't tagged. He wasn't tagged last week, and he had more CBAs. If he's getting tagged, then you break the tag, sending him forward. Whereas last week he had more CBAs, if I recall. What the dogs? Doggies. Pretty sure last week he had more CBAs. Yeah, he had 75. Yeah, exactly. He had the most CBAs.
He wasn't influential with those CBAs though. Like he was there, but if you watch where he set up in the contest, he was like the 4th person to the contest. Like they had the circle, and then he was standing off it. So the CBA numbers kind of lie in that respect.
Well, he's there at the CBAs, and if he's been identified as the tag target, then if they send the tag to him, then they'll just send Bont forward.
Catch him, Mark. Have a good day.
Gonna put a couple of bets on the game tonight. Oh, what are you rolling with? Any suggestions, Mark? Any suggestions? Of course, if you're going to gamble, gamble responsibly. BC on homes for Mark. Very nice. I like it. Sam Darcy. Oh, the last 2 games will be versus St Kilda. What are you trying to say, Velo? He's going to get injured again, is he? Come on, you can't say that. Here's one. Need a downgrade option in forward line. Any suggestions? I already have Pedler. There are no downgrade options in the forward line. Here's one. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
There
and
are
that's
none.
where I think in the next couple of weeks, if you guys can save your pennies and grab a few cheaper players, you may be in a better position than what we're kind of looking at the moment. It's basically upgrade F6 and then leave the rest, unfortunately. Pedler was the only one. We may get a Zach Branch over the next couple of weeks in the forward line. We may get a Lewis Young, I think it is, from Carlton. Did okay in the VFL as well. But, yeah, it's a bit rough.
Zach Johnson is a goer. He is. Winhager will start on Bont. I'll still keep the VC. I don't really care. Angus Clark, yeah. Pryor likely on Jezza. Blackiston on Neil. And Laverty on Danger. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Pryor, an upgrade next week in the community team. Oh, he could be. His CBA, his break-even's getting up there.
Or downgrade,
87.
Potentially. Downgrade, it might be prior to Callum Mills. I think they're about the same price.
Yeah, close to it. So it could be a sideways of Pryor to Mills next week, and finish that back line with Millsy at D6 potentially. That could be good. Carroll and Hines are the subs. There you go. Carroll's a sub. What's his break even?
No, that's 34. The wrong Carroll, Joe.
Oh, wrong Carroll. True. Sorry.
That's the wrong. That's the wrong one, buddy.
I got excited. The
wrong Carroll.
I got excited because of the cash gen. Oh well, wrong Carroll.
Spelled the same too. Are they both M? Are they both M Carroll? Let me quickly check. That's the wrong team. Or is it? No, it's Jack Carroll.
Jack Carroll.
Maybe they're brothers.
Maybe. No, I don't think so. Is Vicentini a trade out with Sweet in?
I think I can get away with not making any trades tonight. I got this wicked cough. I don't know where I got it from. I think I can get away with not doing trades tonight and just kind of thinking on it. Because I don't really have any St Kilda or Doggies players that I want to bring into my team. So that may be the plan, and then just see how we're going, really.
Vicentini could be a hold. His break even is only 46, so you can hold on to him for one more game before trading him out. Last time,
do you think that your Essendon Ruckman 99k will play long term, or you reckon once Reed and stuff come back, that's it?
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not ahead of Reed. He's on ahead of Mackay. He's on ahead of Redmond. There won't be a spot for him. TDK only 118 versus V seems to score lower versus average matchups. Maybe we'll see. They might be on a run though now. You never know. With Carlton, thoughts on Brock, Sardis, and McCauliffe for McCarthy, Johnson, and TDK. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think Brock. But for those trading out Brock though, I think he still has an okay break. Even I don't think it's terrible. 38 break even. So don't be inclined to make him an auto trade out. But if it gets you another premium, then no worries.
Yeah, he's trying to get TDK.
I would say it's really tough with round 16 by players, man. I think half my team is around 16, and I'm going to bring in Zach Johnson and some other players too. So yeah, makes things very interesting.
Bads or Clark?
Oh, I wouldn't be
Clark against Clark. North.
Nah, I wouldn't be touching Clark. I think Baz will be okay.
Yeah.
But Clark is very, very up and down. He'll have good weeks and really bad weeks, and I think he may be due for a really bad week this week.
Yeah, potentially. Last week I traded out Huswaite. That sucks, Josh. We traded him out a while ago.
Rough. He was one of the players that I was looking at as well, being like, hey, Sardis not so much, but Hustwaite I think was really hard done by being kicked out of the team, and had just started. He went into VFL and just started dominating pretty quickly. So he may be a bit of a long-term in for the Hawks, so it kind of sucks.
Hexerism credit out Neil, Lindsay, and Levi for Butters,
Okay,
Johnson, and Mckercher. Banks
Nice.
262K for Mills next week, which is
Good.
Gray will be gone. Got rid of one premium in the round 16 carnage that's coming up. Fair enough.
Yep, and that could be my feeling with going Zach Merritt to Butters this week. Mckercher offers a lot of value. Potentially gives me an out to grab Mills as well. I'm still considering Gorn to TDK next week, if not this week. So, yeah, it's currently the plan. Frees up a bunch of money. So, yeah, I like it. There'll be some people with 24 primos, Joe. It's going to happen.
Fair enough.
Or at least enough playing rookies. Like we could hold a Zach Johnson all year, right? Potentially, is there someone coming back that's kicking him out of a spot?
Good to see you, Uncle Akka. AFL is so easy, a mechanic can do it. Exactly. Nothing easier than AFL. Tossing up whether to bring in Doc. No, don't do that. In general, this year's coming draft class is really shallow. Yep. Next year's draft will be far stronger. I've heard that. You're right. Joe, Essendon after WA players because they want to trade them all for Harley. Hey, big brain play. Big brain play. Why not?
Big brain.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Maverick. Is it too late to jump on Caldwell? Yes. With his buy around the corner, I probably wouldn't do that.
That's rough.
I feel like Bailey Dale VC tonight for a bit of a pod. I did mention him as a potential pod. I definitely think he's going to be pretty good this tonight. And as long as you have a good, safe captain to follow up with, you can really go however ballsy you want with your VC. Crom are goated. All right. I guess we know who you barrack for, Joshua. With the nice AI photo, maybe, potentially. Hawks will spank Crom. Hawks will spank the Crom. Maybe. It'll be the battle of the ducking for high free kicks.
Yep.
Here's Zorko, Lashcroft, and Trent. Oh, you have a boost, you bastard.
Zorko, with the boost coming in clutch.
Trainer and Hall out for Butters, TDK, Johnson, Dewar. Open to other forward downgrade options.
There's not really any. Klahosi was potentially one, but I think he's now been kicked out of the Geelong team. So for sub 200K, Dewar's there, scored the 90 last week, has had a few kick-ins over the last few weeks, so hopefully that stays on. But I really do think that's basically it, Joe. There's nobody. There's legit actually nobody, which is hilarious. I mean, unless you've got Butler.
Yeah, until hopefully Butler gets named.
But he's back. He's got the bye next week, I'm pretty sure.
Or the Hawks.
So that's 2 weeks. It's
exactly.
Crap.
So tough. Really need you guys help this week on what to do with my team. All right, Ethan.
What do you want to do, Ethan? What's the suggestions? Let us know, and then we'll do it. Or throw in your team name, and we'll have a look. Unless it's sitting there and you can find it.
Where's Ethan? All right. How much money do you have, Ethan? Clark will obviously be on field. Got a full back line this week. Sarong comes on. You need a midfielder. You can get Butters, I think. How do you get Butters? I don't know how much money you have.
18K he's got.
18K? Okay. Maybe Moraes. You can trade Levi. Levi, Moraes, and Nevitt to
how much? Let me see. So
no forward DPP though.
No. That's rough. That's the rough part. You'll need to bring in a forward player.
I think Butters would be good. And then you have a finished midfield. unless you don't do that. Unless you don't go Butters, and you go cheap.
So you got
Getting
around. Let's say you got about 800K in the bank, which is decent enough. So I would look at doing, Ethan, first trade for yourself, Nevitt to Johnson. Yep, Nevitt to Johnson first. I think he's the must-have on everyone's book. And if you don't have him, you need him. So there's what, minus 113K. So, yeah, 800. Figure it out.
Is it one?
Just add them all together, Joe. Add them all together. Ashcroft, Moraes, and Nevitt out.
Ashcroft.
Yeah.
Is 383 500 plus 188 900 plus 226.
Yep. Plus 18.
18,000.
Yep. So Zach Johnson out.
Zach Johnson in, so minus 13.
Sorry, yep.
It's 13,500. Yep.
No. One you wrote you put 13 instead of 113. You got a minus 1,000. You got a minus 100K.
Oh, sorry, minus 113,000. Sorry, minus 100K. Yep.
So just minus 100. Yep. Perfect. So you got 7 million left.
702,000.
700K. The big thing for yourself now is just trying to figure out what you can do with this and who you want to bring in. There is Diwa from Port, but it's not favorable. Sorry, from West Coast. How much is Ashcroft? Sorry, how much is Thingamabob? So McWarner is that. McRae is how much?
There's no forward premium to bring in this week, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, you can bring in McRae, but he's very expensive.
Exactly.
McRae's there. Mckercher 393, which would only give you 300K. That's the tricky part, mate.
You might have to hold Ashcroft. You might have to hold Ashcroft this week. I think you're gonna want and have him be your F6 this week. And what you could do is you could do Moraes down to, or Nevitt, whoever, down to Johnson. And then you can maybe get in a Mckercher type for now, in the meantime, to be your M8.
Yep.
You can have Mills next week as a D6. Another cheap way to get another cheap upgrade. So you have two cheap upgrades in the midfield and the back line, and then you can put your effort into getting a good F6, wherever that might be. And if Mckercher doesn't end up being a keeper, well, at least he's making money because he's cheap, and not cheap because he has a low break even, and he's already come off his buy.
Yeah. Here's what I was saying here. DY might be a good option. Could Ethan get a primo like Kennedy or Daniel? Yeah, potentially he could. It's just about figuring out which one it's going to be. Has Horn Francis on the pine 100%. So exactly. Clark's on the pine too. He should be okay there. There are a couple of options. You can move someone like a Holmes to the midfield as well if you want, and then throw Mckercher in the back line if you want to do that. But Johnson first, Nevitt and Moraes probably have to go just due to break evens. And then your best rookie to trade out is Ashcroft, but it makes it tough because there's not really a rookie to bring in unless you want to pay up and get a DY. How much will he have? So DY is, let's pretend we go Moraes, Nevitt, and then Ashcroft out, Joe.
How much is DY?
DY is 176.
DY is 176.
Yeah. Let's try and play around with it. So, yeah. Yep. Plus 18. So we go minus 113. Yep. Minus 176, 200. Yeah. No, that's incorrect. You pressed it twice.
So he's got 526,700.
Yeah. So you can still get a few good players this week. There are some options. DY should make you a little bit of money. I don't see a world where he gets dropped either. And that gives you a midfielder that you can pick. A midfielder or a defender that you can pick for the price. That's the only thing, Ethan. So just have to figure out who do you want. Who do you want to bring in? 526K for a mid. Let me
could do
check.
Rosie, or you could. The cash gen's not great, is all I'll say. So
Well,
that's why I'm
DY gives
saying
him something. DY is at least a little bit of cash general for the next little while.
Potentially.
520. How much did we have? 520.
526.
526. Look, I would probably go Connor Rosie, to be honest, if you want to. Connor Rosie or Cripps. I think you're just outside being able to afford George Hewitt. So maybe even a Connor Rosie if you don't have him. Yeah, I think you could go bananas against Melbourne.
What's he been doing recently?
He's been taking kickouts. He's got Rosie and Cripps. Trust the team, Joe.
Yeah, he's got Cripps here. He's got Rosie in the back line. That's what I'm saying. You could hold on to Ashcroft, have him be your F6 this week, and get someone cheap.
Ethan, what you do is you throw Holmes to the midfield and you grab Naz at 500K. That's what you do.
Or you could do that.
Holmes to the midfield, grab Naz at 500K in the back line. That's what I would do. Then you've got 20 odd K to spend for next week.
Or you can get Sheasel.
Or you can get Sheasel if you want to do that as well. Oh, I think he's a little bit flaky, but if you want to do that, grab Sheasel. So, yeah, might end up helping you there. I think Naz is this is probably the week to get Naz in your team.
Yep. There you go. Play on the youth apart from Oldie. Right. Oldie is a requirement, all right? We can't do anything about that. I see Bont gets around 115. Well, if he does, then we don't take that score. And we just ride.
Exactly. That's why I'm not an advocate of putting him as VC.
Who would you go instead?
Right now, it's probably Cherry. I think he's a fairly solid matchup. If you go Cherry into a Max Gorn or Cherry into someone like a TDK, I think you're doing okay. You might have a game where like a Jordan Dawson goes big, or God forbid a Zach Merritt or someone goes big as well. But we're kind of looking for certain matchups, and the Ruckman this year are just going bananas. So both of them have got a fairly easy matchup. Cherry's really strong. Jackson may beat him around the ground a little bit, but then you've also got TDK versus West Coast or Max Gorn, the God versus Port Adelaide. So, yeah, it's not too bad.
Tim English 15 plus, Dow 25 plus, Darcy 2 goals, lock it in, Eddie. Love it. Not too bad. Brock could be a trade next week on his bye, potentially. Sorry, Big J, I sent the cough to you yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened, man. I just started going home from work and I'm like, it's not good.
Yeah, there's no one really cheap to go for, Kirsten. We're even relying on someone like a Dua, for example. So if you're going to avoid going for a rookie in the forward line, that would be great. I had 8 round 16 players. That's why Zorko is going potentially Merritt next week. Gosh, that role is gross. Yeah, it will change when the players come back. Is Brayshaw a VC option? Oh, is Andy a VC option? I haven't been talking about Andy.
Look, I think so. I don't think North go too well against negating. It's more about, hey, does Wardlaw pick up his game and they put someone like a Simkin to run with him? But Andy definitely could be a half-decent option. I mean, you think about it. It is North's home game, but they're playing at Optus Oval, so they know what the ground is like. It's probably all going to be Freo and West Coast fans there. There's not going to be many North Melbourne, even though Perth does have the second highest rate of North Melbourne supporters. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun game.
Did a few lower scores, but he can go 150.
I
not
would
too
probably
bad.
try and lock in the ruckman as much as you can, Velo. Take the safe VC option alongside the C option. It may be the most popular one, but it might end up being the best one as well.
What's Tristan Sherry's worst score in recent weeks?
Pretty round 5.
Far out. I'm changing.
It's pretty good, man.
I'm
It's
changing
pretty
it to
good,
Sherry. I don't even care. What's I'm changing it to Sherry. It's just
It's pretty good.
the hot hand there. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's
Coach
not bad.
You can't tell, Paul. You never know. Lindsay and Levi must outs. Lindsay, yes.
Look, I think Levi. I think like Supercoach in general has certain things, and I kind of run past this all the time. A bit of my Supercoach philosophy. There's some weeks in Supercoach that we get saved. We got saved last week by having Matt Carroll play, even though Bailey Smith was out. We were saved last week by Levi Ashcroft managing to scrape home a 66. You saw him last week. Every time there was a kick out from a free kick, he ran there and got it. Went big and had like a 30-point last quarter to try and help us over the line. That's in my head, the Supercoach God saying, hey, Levi's done as much as he can. Now, he may go big this week against GWS, but that's my head saying, hey, you were saved by not trading him out, even though he had a high break even last week. Don't not trade him out this week because you're going to get burned. That's kind of my feeling. He could go big, but the Supercoach works in mysterious ways, and it's like, hey, just be careful because it's coming.
Couldn't take the risk and trade. Well, that's what I did last week, Hexerism.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did.
My only problem is like Gawn versus Port Adelaide is a monster. So
it is.
Downgrade him next week if you can to a TDK or someone. But yeah, it's a bit rough.
Hey clowns, sorry man. We looked at Ethan's team. I mean, he's a member, and we looked at him. It's already 7:24 at the moment. But you got 40k in the bank. Thinking Lindsay, Lashcroft, Marshall, the Butters, Nazaya, and a question of either Walsh or Mckercher. Going Walsh leaves me with 157k. Which next week I was thinking Sardis to Mills, which leaves my team complete. But Sheldrick would be my flex player basically. Is that your last trade? Would you have no trades left?
No. You can't have no trades left because next week is 6 trades.
You're saying Sheldrick would be his flex player?
Yeah, basically. But I mean, like that would be the last player to upgrade in the team.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. If Sheldrick's your last player to upgrade, that's really good, bro. 6 trades after that. Well done. Yeah, for sure. That's really good. Just have to hope that Walsh picks up his game.
How much is Walsh?
I personally don't really like Walsh.
489. Yeah. He's regressed a little bit, and I think Adam Cherry's been pinching a little bit of his points. I would not be surprised if a club said, hey, Carlton, here's an early first rounder for Sam Walsh, and then they say, hey, it might be time to get rid of him.
Looking at the Rucks, North, Freo are a light green matchup, Velo. They're a light green matchup, so they're not that restrictive. TDK the bestie option, yeah, I think so. I do have the 3-head monster. That's so 6. Just doing Gorn into TDK just seems to be the freest combination for this week, in my opinion. Brayshaw due for a big one. I can see happening, but there are better options to pick. Agreed. I've got really. And that is it for all of the comments. We managed to make it all the way to the end with 3.5 minutes to spare before the game starts. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like the stream. Definitely helps us to get the exposure out there, to get more and more people to be able to watch us and have a bigger and better and more boisterous and fun sort of banter that we got between us in this chat and in the community. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and we hope you enjoy your weekend.
Guys, remember as well, Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. We'll be back on Monday with Review Crew. Members live stream on Tuesdays at 6 and then the drive home again. Final words, probably grab the best rookies that you can. Johnson definitely is the must-have. I think he's the only one. And then try and navigate round 16 by as best as you can, because it is nasty. It is really going to hurt a lot of teams. There's going to be some teams that have 8 primos out that week and have no rookies. So they could end up fielding 16 or 17 pretty hard. So think about that when it comes to some of your trades. Seen a few Lockie Neals out, seen a few Zach Merritt's out as well. So, yeah, just something to navigate a little bit. These players will tank in cash. So, just have a bit of a think about it too.
Indeed. Because, guys, here at the Centre Bounce,
we do the hard work, so you guys don't have to. Have a great weekend. Another Thursday night game. No Bont VC. It's going to get tagged.
I'm sticking with that stuff. I don't care. I'm going with the Bont VC. I don't care. In Bont, we trust. Piss off, Windhager. You're a piece of